Hi, it's Indrani, and today we are going to look at how we can support our anxious cats through thunderstorms. So if you have a cat at home who tend to get anxious whenever there is a thunderstorm going on, then in this talk you will be able to find some tools which you can use to support your cat through the process. Today's talk is inspired by what happened last night. Last night we had this massive thunderstorm. The cats and I, we were hanging out together, and it gave me a chance to observe how they react. The first sound of thunder, and it was loud. It sounded as if the clouds were doing this stuff just outside my window. And both my cats, they got startled. Their eyes became wide, ears became sharp. They did the situation assessment. What's going on? Am I safe? And then they reached the conclusion that whatever was going on, they were safe. And the tension that was there eased off. It also reminded me of another cat that I was working with a few months ago. And this cat would panic whenever there was a thunderstorm. There was this huge sense of anxiety, loud sounds. She just could not handle loud sounds. She would go into hiding. And then there is this other cat, Duchess. She is now in spirit. Duchess just couldn't care. Didn't matter if there was a thunderstorm going on. She was cool through all of it. So, different cats, different backgrounds, different background stories, different personalities, and different reactions to thunderstorms. Now, let's look at what's going on. Why do some cats get anxious? And you probably know this, that cats have a far greater sensitivity to sound. It is said that humans can hear up to 20 kilohertz of sound frequencies. Cats, that number is 85. So any sound which is at the higher end of the spectrum, like a thunder, whatever we hear, cats can hear that same sound almost 4 to 5 times louder than we hear. So imagine the effect it has. There is this suddenness to it, unpredictability. Out of nowhere, without any preparation, there is this sudden loud sound which is 5 times louder than the way we hear it. The immediate reaction is a sense of threat. There is an unknown threat in the environment. The sense of an unknown threat in the environment in some cats will trigger an instant flight or fight response, which is why some cats go into hiding. And some cats, like the boys, what they did last night, they take stock of what's going on. They take a few seconds to figure out how they want to react. And we want our cats to get to that state where instead of that less than a split second response of panic and fear and anxiety, they get into a more grounded state where they can really take stock and understand if there is an actual threat or not. Now, let's look at the very first thing they do, and this is very specific for companion cats, the ones who live with us. The first thing they would do is the same as what my cats did. They look at me. They looked at me to see how I was going to react. If I had perceived a sense of danger, my reaction would have been a very different one. But for me, it was a known situation. I knew it was something that was not a danger to me or the cats. So when they tuned into me, they saw me as someone who was calm and hopefully confident. And they get that. So when they see me as not reacting to a situation, their conclusion is that they are safe. Doesn't matter what's going on, there is no danger to them. And that there's a sense of safety. That sense of safety brings around a sense of assurance. and which is when they shift from fear to curiosity. I also remember my first cats, Artemis and Amadeus, the very first lightning of their lives. They ran and they went into hiding. And I'm just sitting there and I'm enjoying the lightning. And in less than a minute, I see both of them come out. And now they're very curious. They're looking at me and they're looking at the lightning. And the question is, what's going on? It doesn't feel like a danger, but there's something really new happening here. So you see the shift from a sense of threat, fear, anxiety to curiosity, which comes from a sense of being grounded. So the first thing is check your state. If you are an embodiment of calm, grounded confidence, your cats will catch that and they will know that they are safe too. Now, for some of us, it's easy to do. We can be calm and confident and grounded even when there is a thunderstorm going on. Some of us may find it difficult. Some of us are actually sensitive to sound, so a loud sound may also startle us, may trigger us. And there are ways to manage that. The first thing is become aware of your breath. This is the simplest thing in the world. We breathe. No matter what else is going on, we are always breathing. And all we need to do is just come back and remember our breathing. And if we can, at that point, take some slow, deep breaths, you will see a sense of calm settling in. Let's do this exercise together. Let's experience that shift. And you will see how quick it is. And this is what we are going to do. I'm going to guide you through a very simple breathing exercise. So you breathe in and you take the breath in all the way down to your lower abdomen. You hold the breath there and then you breathe out. And then you pause for a few seconds and then again start. Let's do this 4 times. If you want, you can close your eyes and follow along with my voice. Okay, so we breathe in, take the breath in all the way to your lower abdomen, hold, and breathe out. Breathe out slowly, softly, and gently, and then pause. And then start again. Breathe in, hold, out, and then pause. Let's do this with a count. We breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, breathe out, 2, 3, 4, pause, 2, 3, 4. One last time. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, pause, 2, 3, 4. Okay, how did that feel? Can you sense the shift? Can you feel a little calmer? This is exactly what would happen when you shift into a slow, even-paced breathing. This technique that we did today is called the box breathing or the 4x4 breathing, and I have other articles on that. But it is as simple as that. Just breathe. In less than a minute, you will find yourself settling down. And once you settle down, you will see your cats catching that as well. The HeartMath Institute has done research on this, how our breathing patterns can influence the wellness of our animal companions as well. And by getting into a more coherent breathing pattern, we can induce the state of wellness, a state of calm in our animal companions as well. So that's the first thing. The second thing that you can do is a bit of a massage. And this is for cats who are very open to being touched and patted. If your cats are touch sensitive, then this may not be an ideal tool to use. But if they are open to being touched, this is what you can do. And for this, I have my helper here. Meet Charlie. The first thing is the hips. The hips bring about a sense of deep grounding in our cats and dogs. If all you do is just place your hand on your hips when they are stressed out or when they are hyper excited, you will see them coming down. Sometimes just this much is enough. So in the middle of the thunderstorm, if you sit next to them with your hands on their hips, on their bum, just like this, you will see the change. And then, if they allow, you can do a gentle massage. The way to do it is just rotate your hands in a clockwise direction very gently. And you can actually do this a little away from the body as well, just a few centimeters away. If you want, you can press pause, go and try this and come back. So this is the first point. And then, if you want, you can also move to the shoulders, that is here, on both sides. So place your hands on the shoulders, and again, if they are comfortable with you touching them, just move your hands in a clockwise direction, like a gentle massage. It eases up the stress and the tension that is building up here and here, the hips and the shoulders. So my cats love this. So this is the second tool that you have. So you have your breath work, you have the massage. And the third thing is almost all cats need a safe space in the house. I call this their hideout. Whenever there is a trigger, it could be thunderstorm, it could be a house guest, it could be someone unknown who's just come in, a new family member even. They like a space where they can go and just be away from all of it. And I have these little hideouts in the house. Some cats are really fond of the closet. The closet has a very comforting smell of familiarity which they love, and it gives them that sense of comfort and safety and assurance. Maybe it's your closet, or maybe it is another spot. And you have this spot in the house at all times, somewhere, a place that they can retreat to. And you will see that if there is a thunderstorm going on, that is a space that they would go to hide. This is their safe space. Right. Now, these are your first response. You take care of your breathing, you get calm and centered. You can do a gentle massage, touch the hips, shoulders, and you have a safe space for them. Now, in some cases, there may be something which keeps the anxiety in them. It doesn't go very easily. It's more persistent. Either the intensity of the anxiety is much more than normal, or even after the thunderstorm, the anxiety doesn't pass very easily. There are a few other things to explore. The first one, and again an easy one, is a Bach flower remedy. Bach flower remedies are very beneficial when you're dealing with an emotional situation. There are different remedies for different emotions. The one that I keep handy in the house at all times is rescue remedy. And you have probably heard of it. Rescue remedy is something which I recommend keeping handy. And not just for situations like anxiety, it can also help with any sudden unexpected situation like trauma or even a sudden grief. Rescue remedy will help. So, if you don't see the anxiety going away, start with the rescue remedy. And then, there is EFT tapping. I spoke about this cat who had this intense anxiety and would just simply refuse to come out. With this cat, I started working using EFT tapping. EFT tapping is a combination, a coming together of ancient Chinese medicinal philosophies and more modern cognitive behavior therapy. In the Chinese medicinal system, in the TCM system, we say there are meridians which run through our body, energy pathways. And there are points where these meridians, they come and touch the surface of the skin. We use acupressure, or we use acupuncture, or in tapping, we do tapping. And each of these meridians and these points are associated with certain organs, physical organs like the liver or the heart or the kidney, and also with certain emotions, grief, anger, fear. And when we tap on these points, we release that blocked emotion. Once the emotion starts moving, it gets released and creates a sense of relief. If there is a built-in fear or an anxiety involved, then that gets released. Now with this cat, we tapped on the anxiety, we tapped on what was causing the anxiety. There was an old story that she was carrying along with her. We released that old story, that old sense of trauma which was making that anxiety more persistent. And then we created this sense of world where she felt very safe. Today, she has a much greater sense of resilience. It's not that fireworks and thunderstorms are cool for her, but she's okay with them, much better than before. And then there is, of course, energy work. That's like my go-to for everything. So you can always work with a practitioner, because with energy healing, you can address all the underlying causes that are going on. Energy healing is very gentle, non-invasive. And cats love energy healing because they don't need to travel. You don't need to take your cat to meet another person. It can be done over a distance. And cats are also very receptive and open to those subtle energy changes. So by now, I hope you have a lot of tools that you are equipped with. Let's do a quick recap. The first one is your breath. You can always come back to your breathing. You can do a gentle massage, especially hips, and touch the shoulders. Create a safe environment for them. Have a little hideout. There is Bach flower remedies, and you can always work with a practitioner. EFT tapping, energy healing. I hope you found this beneficial, and you have tools now that you can try out. And hopefully the next thunderstorm will be a quieter and an easier one for you. Stay tuned for more talks on animal communication, energy healing. Like, subscribe, comment. I would love to hear from you. Until the next time.